Just in time for me to sit down. I guess we're live. Oh, fuck. All right.
Good
so,
way to start.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I thought so. Huh? Is that supposed to be your line? Sorry, Gene. Yeah, you mouth it just exquisitely. Yeah. So, welcome to COFOH Live Undead. We have a massive audience. Thanks, guys, for showing up. Yeah, this time around we're doing a little bit of a yearly wrap up, like the year in horror. So we're gonna keep it kind of loose as I normally do, because as everybody knows, I don't do any fucking research on anything.
Where's the list of questions?
Huh?
No list of questions.
Yeah, they'll just kind of roll out of my mouth as we go along. Yeah, it's like verbal diarrhea. I think they call it vomit. But yeah, thanks guys for coming out. So for all those, our guests today are some of my COFOH co-founders and new team members. So we've got Jeannie Smith at the end, husband Brett Smith, Dwight Thompson, Lisa Thompson, your wife. She's also a co-founder.
She's at home watching right now because she just wasn't up to making it down here tonight.
Hey Lisa, hope you're feeling better. And then Brian Bonner, who's helping out with COFOH. And Brian, you've got an extensive background in horror and all things paranormal.
If it's horror or paranormal, I'm involved in it. Been doing the paranormal research gig for going into 22 years now. And everything Colorado horror based I've tried to get my hands into. So here we go again.
Yeah. One more spin, huh? Nice. So just a little bit of background on each of you guys too. What with COFOH, the Colorado Festival of Horror, that we've kind of coined.
I was thinking you gotta mention it was probably December 2017, and we were sitting in this very room.
Standing right over there, what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
We just finished the ink adjudication meeting.
Oh
And
yeah.
we started talking.
Talking about this little
You
term.
know what? Colorado doesn't have a horror festival.
I was telling you that I'd always wanted to put on a convention. And Dana King, who I love to death, she back in the day, she put on the Baby Boomerama and the Zowie shows. And I'm like, I'd really like to do this. And then now, 30 years later, I was talking to you about it, and Dan's like,
Right.
hey, what's going on? What are you guys talking about? And
And we did that.
Yeah, and you guys are like, shit, put the stuff away. Dan's here.
then now, almost 2 years later,
We can do this.
we're getting there.
I know. We're both a little bit bolder.
Right? A lot smaller for me. Yeah.
I know she did delve into the weird for a while. She had the World UFO and Paranormal Expo.
Oh, that's right. I
Dana
remember that.
King.
I don't remember
I
that.
didn't go to that one. But
I
yeah.
spoke at that. So,
Oh, did you?
Nice.
How long ago was that?
16, 17 years ago.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah, just a couple of months. Nice. So, have you guys always, had an interest in horror and the genre? I know you guys from, being like super volunteers in everything pop culture, it seems like. I met Dwight years ago at Mile High Horror Film Fest. He kept helping me with my stupid, oversized, props and, anything idiotic I could fit through the door.
I kept wanting to help you with it because I wanted to take it home. As soon as you turn your back, I was going to stick it in my car and you never turned your back.
Yeah. Well, that and you felt pity. I get it.
Well, and then I realized they were super huge. It's like, I couldn't even get this in my car.
Right.
I don't know how you got them down there and back.
I don't remember. Oh, you're talking about those big foam
Big
stalls,
stalls,
right? Yeah. I don't know either. I recently brought those out for a Halloween party at Nick Nichols Event Center. And somehow I got them down there without them flying out of the back of the truck. This time. So third tries at the truck, right?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of been a long life thing that you just kind of grew up with.
Well, my passion is right here on this thermos, Star Trek.
Oh, nice.
Now, the first Star Trek episode did have a monster in it. And my dad showed it to me live when I was in the 3rd grade. That's
The salt monster.
And the salt monster was like, okay, there's a creature, there's a monster connection. But you know, I love Creature from the Black Lagoon. I love the sci-fi element anyway. So Alien, of course, was huge for me. But I've loved to do just a 10 conventions for years. I've been attending them since the early 80s, probably.
Yeah.
And horror wasn't. I mean, I love horror. It wasn't my thing. But then Jeannie and I had these 2 kids, these 2 boys.
Just had to have these
It
two.
just happened.
Yeah.
A couple of real horrors.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
of horrors. And they just ballooned with horror. That was their absolute favorite. And I would say, okay, we're going to have family movie night. And it was always like, I'd say, oh, we'll pick a Star Wars, we picked this. No, we want a horror.
And then it would have to be a horror movie that mom was in.
Oh, okay.
There's certain lines that I just.
Yeah. What would be the compromise? Like, for example.
This is.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
nice.
your favorite.
That is a family favorite. Yeah.
I like spooky. I like ghost stories.
Okay.
It's just don't give me the slasher
Hmm.
torture.
Okay. Yeah.
And they got to know exactly what mom would like and what mom.
Yeah. So no Kramer versus Kramer. Jeez.
No,
that's
that's
a
out.
bloodbath.
That was out.
Yeah.
That was Kramer versus Godzilla.
Oh, that was a sequel. Got it. Yeah. Talk about world building.
So what about Bambi versus Godzilla? Would that do it for you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome. Yeah. Very short.
Very short.
Yeah. Man. Well, so essentially, your kids were the gateway drug to horror genre.
For the most, for really hitting it hardcore.
Okay.
Like, I mean, when they got into their upper teens, it was like martyrs. It was like cannibal holocaust.
Oh dear.
These real, extreme
Yeah,
stuff.
Jeannie was not in
No,
that.
Jeannie, I don't think you ended up watching those.
No.
But it'd be like, oh, Dad, 10 p.m.
The Serbian movie, I'm sure they've seen
all
that.
that.
Oh, good God, yeah.
Yeah.
I told Lisa she's never allowed to watch that.
No, I don't think she would
Nobody
want to.
should ever be allowed.
Yeah.
I think the first one that really surprised me was Saw.
All right.
Ah.
And they started going into these Saw movies, and I was watching them, and then they want to go see them in the theaters.
Mhm.
And I was thinking,
In 3D, no less.
yeah, I know. I was like, it was just looked like it was nothing but blood and guts. But then when I started watching them, there's a story behind all the
Right.
blood and guts, and it tells a big circular story. It was actually a lot more in depth than I thought it was going to be.
I enjoyed
A
them.
circular saw.
Yes, a circular saw.
I enjoy them trying to figure out the puzzles. What is it you're supposed to
true.
try to do here? I'm a big puzzle guy from back in the day, and yeah, so that's what grabbed me on those.
Okay. How about you, Brian? What's your favorite kind of movies?
Anything horror.
Okay.
Every genre. Pick one. I'm good with it.
Okay.
The classics I grew up on, but yeah,
me too.
take me to see a Serbian film, I'm okay with that.
Nice. So you're ready for any occasion.
Any film.
Okay. That's a pretty wide palette.
Brian can give a lecture on the history of horror films.
I have.
Nice.
He's been to one.
Yes, I have.
Oh, have you? What was that lecture about?
It was literally the history of horror films from silent to current.
Oh, no kidding.
And the 3 of us sat down for just over 2 hours and went right down the timeline,
Nice.
which was a lot of fun and kind of refreshed my memory of a lot of things that I'd forgotten about in the older films,
Nice. Okay.
and introduced a lot of people to the older films too.
I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it went way back to, 1890s or something?
Oh,
or even,
some of the first films were horror
Yeah.
films.
yeah.
Nice.
You look at Edison.
Yeah.
He was doing Frankenstein.
Yeah, I was going to say even Mary Shelley. That was way before that. I mean, it was written,
Mhm.
but I mean, it's still alive and well today.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's probably a good segue to thinking back on just 2019. What kind of things of horror of that genre kind of resonate with you? What are some of your takeaways? What kind of are your standouts in terms of films or events or activities, even stuff that's like happening around Denver. There's a few things like this year. Elise and I went to Anderson Farms for the first time. Holy crap, that was
Close to us.
so fun.
Yeah.
I had no idea it existed, but it's been
They still call
around
it terror in the corn forever.
for almost like 20 years, it seems like.
We
And
took
it's
our
just-
kids to a birthday party there. We had a birthday party.
Oh, okay. When they were like teenagers or
No,
preteens?
younger, middle school.
Oh, middle school. Okay, so kind of
One
preteen,
of-
I suppose.
One of the poor kids ended up leaving there screaming like a baby.
Well, that's what happens when you punch them.
It was the chainsaw guy.
Oh
The first time we did that terror of the haunted house part of it, not the maze part. And this guy comes out with the chainsaw and starts heading towards you, man. That came out of my skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it was Brett that left.
You
screaming like a
did
baby.
that, didn't you?
Oh,
That was me.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
me. It wasn't the one with the
I
boys.
could see him squealing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's pretty high pitched.
No, I did see an opposite reaction to that once. I took a bunch of horror movie stars to a haunted house, and I watched the guy with the chainsaw running out of the haunted house, and all of the horror movie stars are following.
Oh.
They're
Oh, wow.
terrified. Yeah, that's great.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. Nice little reversal of roles.
I love working the chainsaw. I worked in a haunted house
Yeah.
for about 25 years, and I was the end scare, which was so basically over time, I built a character called Chuckles, and he got his own dungeon called Chuckles Dungeon, and so basically I was dressed as a clown, kind of imagine that, and carrying a chainsaw, and
Nice.
if the clown didn't get him, the chainsaw did. It was great. I loved
It sounds like you might have influenced the Terrifier.
it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Did you have this too?
Maybe. I did.
Yeah.
I did, yeah. Yeah, and I did my own makeup, so it was done very poorly, which it just added to the effect.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, it was a
Did
fantastic
you have
time.
Sid Haig to run for his money?
No, no. Sid is a god. No, it was a lot of fun. Though. I mean, I ended up just getting too old. I couldn't keep up with the teenagers. They run too fast.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they'd be bolting, and I'd be like, see ya.
So yeah, I'm gonna go back and take a shot. Wait for the next round. Yeah.
It's hard work, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And there too, like we lost Sid Haig this year.
Right.
This year.
Right, that was.
Yeah.
I met him at Mile High Horror Film Festival. I think it was the last year they did it, or the year before. And he told me a piece of advice that I'll carry with me to the grave. And he said, on your way up, be nice.
Yeah.
Because at one point you're going to be on your way down, and the people that you were nice to will be nice back to you.
Yeah.
And I'll carry that forever.
It's fantastic.
That's nice. Yeah. I've met him at Mile High Horror Film Fest, but I ran into him and Bill Mosley at an event called Zombie Zone in Seattle years ago. It was probably like 2010, maybe. And the two of them were walking by the booth. I was over there with Robert Elrod. I was wood burning a zombie Bambi, eating Thumper.
I've got one of those prints.
Yeah, I'd imagine you would. But anyway, so I was working on that, and they come up, and they're just like, oh wow, that's so great. It's like it smells great over here too. Yeah, it's pretty wood. But yeah, they spent a few moments just hanging out, chatting, looking through my stuff. I gave them a bunch of free prints, and yeah, it was really nice. It was very sweet. So we should probably see about getting Bill Mosley too, because he's a very sweet and endearing guy.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, there you go. If we can't get Sid to, then
Yeah.
at least get 50% of that
That's
team.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, that yeah.
You know
that's-
what I loved this year is we had a real full circle experience because Jeannie and I, 3 or 4 years ago, we got this notification from Chautauqua Park in Boulder that said, coming to Chautauqua because he was inspired to write The Shining here is Stephen King. He's going to give this talk. Tickets are going on sale at 10 a.m. And I was like on the computer
Yeah.
going for it and scored a couple of tickets. So we got to go see him, and he was promoting this Dr. Sleep book, the sequel to The Shining. And it was kind of fun because they also, everybody who went got a copy of the book. And he, before the whole thing was done, Mr. King himself goes in and he signs every 4th book is what it ended up being. And so when you exited the auditorium after the fascinating talk, I mean, it was amazing, they handed you a book. and it was, you had a 25% chance of getting a signed one.
No.
But to have full circle, to have this film come out this year, I thought it was one of the best films of the year. I absolutely love
Oh, okay.
Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, Elise and I think we saw that in Alabama of all places. but yeah, that was actually pretty charming. It kind of, for me, it was like King's best attempt at like a Harry Potter movie. Just had that world building.
Yeah.
Well, they had to twist the two different versions together and make it work.
Okay.
And they did.
Yeah.
Because you had the Kubrick version,
Right.
and you had the King version, and they put them together reasonably well.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised on how well things seem to fit.
Yeah.
And
The homages to to Kubrick's film are just
Right.
wonderful.
Which is
But
funny
it had its
considering
own identity
King's-
and its own story.
Yeah.
I mean, it did have Rebecca Ferguson. It was amazing.
yeah.
What's her character?
Yeah, it was
I
like something in
forgot.
the hat.
Yes, yeah, it was.
Yeah, the cat in the hat.
That's
Is
it.
that right? Yeah.
We should put her
When
on
I
the
think
list.
of energy vampires, I think of cat in the hat. Yeah.
We need to get Rebecca Ferguson to talk about
There you go. Well, and who played Jack Nicholson in the flashbacks? Henry Thomas. So I was surprised about that. It's like, holy crap.
it. The actors that got to play the characters from the Kubrick films really were spot on.
Yeah. Yeah, at least
Fun.
kept thinking that was Shelley Duvall. I was like, no,
Yeah.
she's not really available, so to speak. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think she's doing anything. I saw an interview. She did not look well.
Has she done time?
She just did a signing not too long ago. I know that.
Okay.
It's like a
Okay.
private signing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I ended up with a knife from it.
Nice.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
How about us? We had, you're talking about films, we had
Right.
Get Out.
Well, that was a couple
last
years ago.
year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But this year, he did not a sequel, but Us was his next kind of horror film.
I'm just glad to see that horror is becoming better produced,
Mhm.
more psychological. Not that I don't love the gore,
Yeah.
but all the amazing films that are coming out because of that, like say those, you've got like The Witch a couple of years back, but amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Hereditary,
Oh, Hereditary. Oh, my God.
Lighthouse.
There's a scene in Hereditary
Midsommar?
that's one of those things that I will never forget.
Which one?
I mean, the mom putting in the air, just doing this.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and the look on her face. I mean, oh my God, she was so. Lisa knew her from Muriel's wedding.
Right.
She was Muriel. And,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, you're right. That is who that is.
Yep.
Oh my God. And it's like, but that scene, man, that was just freaking me. I dreamt about that for 2 days. Just that scene.
You too,
Oh
right?
my God, yeah.
You remember, I keep going back to that film because that was the one where it's just like, well, none of this adds up. This makes no sense. It's kind of movie crap. And then I go and have a nightmare and I can't sleep. It's like, okay, there's something there, man. So I got to go back and watch it the next day. It's like, yeah, this is fucking amazing. And the rules don't apply to this film. So,
Have you noticed it's A24 that's doing this stuff?
yeah.
I did see
Yeah.
that.
They are really, they're pushing the envelope when it comes to high quality stuff.
Mhm.
I love it, yeah.
Yeah. So you've got Midsommar.
Yep.
That
Which is the
came out.
Hereditary.
Same director
Right,
as
yeah.
Hereditary. Yeah.
And then The Witch, isn't that the Lighthouse?
Lighthouse.
Yeah, Gentleman into the Lighthouse. I think, well, that was already out in the theaters. I missed it.
Well, and years ago, kind of starting it off, you had like the Babadook.
Yeah,
Babadook, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that, incidentally, that was one that never really, stayed with me. But I mean, it was a fun, interesting film.
I think they could have done more with it, but what they had was, I did like.
Yeah.
It was just so different.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Especially at that time.
Have you had a favorite this year, Dan?
I did enjoy Us. I like the idea because if it's horror and if it gives me a nightmare, it's successful. So I started. Yeah, Elise was out of town, so I watched that by myself. That was stupid.
With the lights on or off?
Yeah, no, they were off. I really should watch that stuff with the lights
There's your
on.
issue. in
Yeah,
the middle of the night, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's no day. I'm such a lightweight.
I've got to be jaded. You guys are talking about nightmares, and I'm like, when?
Right. No, but but I started having nightmares about my doppelganger coming after me. It's like, oh no, I don't want anybody else wearing this forehead. It's got such a big noggin. But no, Us was really good. So what else did we watch? I don't know if it came out this year, but I saw it this year. Mayhem with one of the guys from Walking Dead. I think it's Stephen Yao.
Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn. Right.
I think it's Stephen Yin.
Is it Yin? Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of a take on the zombie film. Basically, people get infected, and they're infected with kind of a rage, like all their inhibitions just, go away, and they have no filter, so they're able to enact violence. Well, this happens in an office building during a massive layoff. So, a lot of unhappy people. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. I called up my dad and said, "You should watch this. This probably reminds me of your day to day back when before you were retired." So that was pretty good.
Anybody make Zombieland?
Oh yeah.
I didn't make it to that one.
It was everything it needed to be.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't the best film ever, but it was Zombieland.
Seemed like it didn't last in theaters for long, but
It made its money.
The thing that's really amazing to me, and kind of by accident, I work with a film series up in Boulder
Yeah.
that Friday Night Weird.
Mhm.
And every time we get to pick the movies that get to play, it's all of these like obscure and foreign horror movies for the most part. And I am amazed at how much, and I hate to say this, better the bulk of the foreign horror movies are than what we're getting here.
Okay.
They are just the Spanish, unbelievable horror movies. The Japanese, if that's the one that will creep me out, they have amazing films. But we don't get to see them here. So, every once in a while, a weird series like ours pops up and see it.
Right. Yeah. Like back when I was in art school, some 20-odd million years ago, one of the film directors I was introduced to was Takashi Miike. With that, Audition. That was the first one that I watched, and I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta see this. It's fantastic. It starts out like this, wonderful dramatic piece, and then there's just like these little glimpses of like, wait, what? What's going on?
Left turns.
Right. Well, and to some extent, I wouldn't doubt if like some of the filmmakers today, like you're talking, about Hereditary, if they're taking cues from what's going on across the sea. Just like say Scorsese with Akira Kurosawa, back in the day, or George Lucas, and it's basically the same guy too. So with Takashi Miike, it's like, oh my gosh, this thing is nuts. And then I got into the Dead or Alive film series, 1 through 3. 1 is the best. It's absolutely insane. And then like Ichi the Killer, Gozu, which is kind of feels like an ode to David Lynch. But the guy's like a guy like that. He's already made well over 100 film and TV projects. So he's, for a time, he was turning out like 5 film projects a year. That was insane. And then to remain at that level of quality, and granted, you're going to have a few that are, are misses. But with that, he gave them some areas and platforms to experiment too.
Well, and I think they're willing to experiment and go out and do different things. They aren't redoing everything that was done 20 years ago.
Right.
I mean, did we need Suspiria?
Right.
Did we need Black Christmas?
Right.
Black Christmas,
again,
we really didn't need.
Yeah. And this is like the second or third remake that's coming out, right?
It's the second.
Yeah.
And I have yet to have heard as much as even a compliment in a review. They need it.
Isn't that a Blumhouse production? I can't remember.
No.
Hopefully not.
We want them to do well.
Because they've been doing really good.
Yeah, but they've also been like diversifying into like dramatic pieces too, and then tons of straight to streaming projects. So I think they have a regular like nightly series on Hulu. So like every month it's like a new project, whether it's a film I don't know, maybe a TV miniseries or something like that. But
How about that brand new film that you and Brian and I saw Friday night? That was amazing.
brand new. The experience was brand new.
First time I've ever seen it.
Oh, the last time I saw it, I was in high school. And of
Okay.
course, I'm seeing it with a high schooler's eyes, and I'm an asshole. I'm worse now, but I'm patient. But yeah, back then I didn't think much of it, and to see it with an audience and on a big screen,
I would have loved
and
to
there's
see
the
that.
actress. Oh my
Sleepaway Camp.
gosh, what it was an
Sleepaway Camp.
experience.
Teresa Mercado, and first time I got to meet Teresa,
Felissa Rose,
she's
yeah.
running the C Film Center.
I will say,
Or-
at the end of
Screen.
it, I wasn't watching the screen. I had to turn around because
See?
probably 3/4 of people there had never seen it.
All right.
I'm like,
That
this would be
scene-
much better than
Oh,
watching the
nice,
screen.
yeah, yeah. Seeing the
Brian
responses
was
out of
sitting next to
everybody.
me, and I'm thinking, what's he doing? He's getting up and he's looking back at this audience behind. I'm like, what's going on, Brian? He's
I
like,
couldn't get that scene out of my head for days after I saw it. And just,
Right.
I mean, and it was just the look on her face, I think, more
It's
than
very
anything.
potent.
I mean, the whole scene is bizarre. But the
Right.
look on her face just terrified me for days.
Yeah, my buddy Stefan, he's another filmmaker, and he's just sitting there, never heard of it,
Oh,
he just
really?
went on a whim,
okay.
and it's like, yeah, let's go hang out and stuff, and he's like, oh my gosh, he comes out of it, that's so great, let's go make a fucking horror movie, let's fucking go, he's an intense guy when he gets going, it's like, oh Jesus Christ, I shouldn't give him so much caffeine so late, you gotta go home.
What I was extra shocked about was, the image of Felissa Rose, her character is what, Angela? Rose?
Yeah.
The look on her face is something I've seen. I mean, I couldn't avoid not seeing that.
Mhm.
But that even seeing that did not prepare me for the
Right.
final scene,
The
even
full way.
even close.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Right.
There was no spoiler by seeing that 8x10.
I couldn't believe nobody told him because as we're walking in, I'm like, so you know about the ending, right? He's like,
No.
no.
Yeah.
I'm like, nobody told. I'm not telling
Other
him.
than Dwight said it gave him 9.
I told him about it, but I didn't tell him what it was. And I did that purposely.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's better to live through the
Yeah.
surprise
Yeah, exactly.
and experience it for yourself.
But was she the greatest? I mean, the
Oh,
actress,
she's nice.
the actor
She's
who
very
played
sweet,
her,
yeah.
Felissa Rose,
Her
just
film stars in
embracing all her fans.
Yeah, that means they're great people generally.
I found too that even any of the fans, the horror fandom is a closer knit group of people than any other fandom I know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've been in the sci-fi fandom for decades, and other fandoms as well. But with like sci-fi, you've got Star Wars and Star Trek are always button heads. It's like, well, my show's better than yours. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't.
Yeah.
There's
Horror guys are like,
Wait,
oh, you like that movie? I like that movie too. Or
Right.
I mean, everybody just like
Right.
comes in and goes, oh yeah, man, you're my best friend. Let's talk.
Yeah, there's more of a sense of endearment to each other, and camaraderie, I think. I find that true coming from, specifically the comic book world, where it's, either people are hot for something or they're not. And then, the arguments, oh my God. So, hey, Star Wars is coming out this week. Oh, great. This is going to be fun.
It's not going to be controversial at all, is it?
Yeah. Jeannie, when you go out with Brett, because you guys are always going out to events and meeting exciting people and stuff, do you ever get kind of like starstruck or anything with people that you meet?
She's had a few happy dance moments.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
she really goes crazy when she happy dances.
For example.
I met Brian Setzer.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That was
Nice.
probably my biggest hit, but that's not a work.
He is a really nice guy.
Nice.
And some comedians. Billy Ball is a big one.
Right, that's cool.
But I haven't met a horror person yet.
But you happy dance? Yes, you did. You
Yeah,
did.
wait,
You
you
did
did?
do one this year.
Yeah.
You did.
During that bird expedition
No.
you read.
It was this,
Oh,
and it was
well, I was thinking.
Betcher, am I saying it right? Betcher Hall.
Oh yeah, the
And they brought
comedian.
in Danny Elfman to do his violin concerto.
Oh,
So there you go.
Yes, yes.
well, but you met the mother of on the Conjuring at
That
during
was
your,
this
your
year
birthday
too.
expedition.
Yes, it was this year.
Yeah,
That's true. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Lily Taylor.
Lily Taylor. That's right. Yeah, nice.
I impressed a couple people.
She went to go see the, was it
It's
Crane?
the crane migration in Kearney, Nebraska.
Okay.
And we happened to be in the hotel where they were doing the crane convention or whatever it was called. And we knew that Lily Taylor was going to be there.
Nice.
My friends did not have no clue. So we're just kind of walking around, and I see this big empty room where they have a banquet the next day and I hear voices. And so I just kind of stick my head in. So she's in there. So I tell my friends, hang on a second, I got to do something. Whip out, of course, because I'm prepared, because Brett has taught me well.
Yeah.
I've got the 8x10, I got the Sharpie. I walked
Nice.
in there, Skylar, would you sign this for me?
Oh.
She did, and I came back out and I showed my friends, and they were like,
That's sweet.
There's a horror actor, and she's a member of the Audubon Society.
That's great.
It was really cool on board.
Well, I'm amazed how many of them are really big into charities and things like that, where most actors don't want society when they're not acting. It's a completely different community.
It was fun.
Have you had a happy dance moment, Dan?
Have I had a happy dance moment? Let's
He
see.
likes to get autographs.
What's that?
You love to get autographs. So
No,
much.
yeah, I wish. Well, I guess I don't participate in the fan service as much as maybe I would like to. I tend to focus more on the creation of stuff, and then go to the movie, go to the concert, go to the whatever the cultural event. I think the closest little happy dance was at Anderson Farms. Was waiting in line for about an hour in the cold. It was cold. To go do the zombie shoot 'em up thing in the cornfield. That was a lot of fun. We're just like sitting there, it's like, oh my gosh, I ran out of paintballs. So I just had to watch Elise. It's like, yeah, this is how you ration it. You're right. I'm a little too trigger happy. It's good I don't own firearms.
I had a problem with that. Just before I went and did that,
Yeah.
I'd gone through a police citizens academy,
Oh, okay.
and they teach you, dead center once.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how I was. I was just not thinking. I was just kind of acting. It's like, okay, who's next?
Right.
Everybody else is unloading.
Right. Yeah. That was pretty fun. I tried. Once you're on them, it's like, well, they're already dead or alive, or, whatever. So it's like, what's the next target further up? Get to that one first before they can jump you. At least that's what I think zombies are there for. But these are just like cutouts, and maybe one or two actors that are wearing a cup, because because everybody knows.
That's where you're at.
Because that's what everybody's saying.
Yeah, that's right. That's because that's where the zombie heart is, right? It's not necessarily the head; it's the other head.
Did you do the maze too, or not?
Yeah, we did do the maze. That was a lot of fun. It was kind of disrupted by all the teens with all the phones. I'm not getting reception. Good. Fuck right off.
Shoot their phone.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't allow me to take it. I was like, frisk this one. He looks dangerous. Just get the shifty lazy eye. So yeah, we walked through the corn maze. That was a lot of fun. It's like, every few minutes we find our way back around to the entrance. Like, oh, screw that. Let's get further lost. Then we were in somebody else's field. It's like, we should probably go back to the field because I think that's actually a shooting range over there. Yeah, let's go. So that was a lot of fun.
It's a happy cornfield dance.
What's that?
It's a happy cornfield dance.
Yeah, you're right. I did have to empty my bladder out there. So you're right. Yeah. No, it was great. I think that for us, for the purposes of COFOH, and I'm always thinking of like, a way to partner up or do a promotional thing. It's like, it'd be great to have like a little mini event there, like on a weekend. It's like, hey, have a little mini horror convention or something under a heated area. Or maybe get somebody like Tony Todd to just come out and do a couple signings for a day or something. Just do something sweet and short. And, it'd be great to have Anderson Farms on this show. Just putting it out there.
That's right.
We actually, we actually do get some viewership online, so it might circle around to that. So
that was something I did that was really fun for about 6 or 7 years.
Mhm.
I was part of a team that went to all the commercial haunted houses and reviewed them.
Oh, cool.
So every year it's like we're going to go to every one of them,
Yeah.
and that was just fun.
For this year, have you guys gone to any of the haunted houses? Any of the haunts?
In about 2 years.
Not in about 2 years?
Working haunted houses for 25 years really tainted me to them.
Okay.
I'm always like, oh no, you should have come out this way and then did this scare. And it's like, I'm always critiquing. And
Do you stand there and give them notes? It's like, here's the notes. Try this.
Yeah.
That's always sweet. How about you guys?
We didn't do it.
No?
Actually, I'm a little afraid of haunted things.
Okay.
Last time we did one was when the boys were, I don't know, it was when we were in Virginia Beach. And it was just this middle of summer. This is just this rinky-dink haunted house and miniature golf kind of thing. But I got so freaked out because there's this long hallway. And the boys had been going, Mom, Jeannie, and so somebody got my name. And so going down this long hallway, and this voice is following us. And it just freaked me out. It was just,
That's one of the key things in a haunted house is you're listening for names. Doesn't it? They're like, Joanne, come over here, and you're like, Joanne, come over here. Then they're like, they know my name.
Pretty cool.
well, they got me, so I haven't been.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty freaky. But of course, no, just my luck, so all of a sudden, it's like, Freddie Mercury, where? It's like, what? That's amazing. I'm staying here. Better fucking conjure. Let's go. I want your Christmas special, damn it. Actually, I just came across one of his, I know I'm deterring, but came across one of the Freddie Mercury Queen Christmas songs, and I was just like, been playing that for the last week. I'm like, this does it for me. I hate Christmas songs. This is
You
amazing.
heard this one.
Yeah, well, I never heard it. It's like, well, this is kind of a go-to classic.
Horror Christmas songs.
Yeah, well, Nightmare Before Christmas. So that's probably.
Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, Tales from the Crypt.
The Crypt Keeper Sings. It is an amazing album.
Oh,
Uh,
what?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's all on YouTube.
Okay.
John, that did the voice for the Crypt Keeper, sings all of the classics in a very morbid way.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
excellent. You guys know about this? Well, yeah. Afterwards, we're going to be loading that. And just playing all the hits.
Cue up the Good Omens soundtrack because there's a couple of Christmas songs on it from the Satanic Nuns.
Oh, I was going to say it'd be hilarious if Gregory Peck was singing
good, yeah.
it. Oh, so yeah. Oh my God. I can't do Gregory Peck. But yeah.
So there was a movie called Spider Baby that was made in the 60s, I believe. It never came out. There was like a lot of legal issues with it.
Oh.
But Lon Chaney Jr. actually sings the intro. And it's freaking phenomenal.
Nice.
He does that Christmas song as well.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah,
You
hopefully
can
it's on
totally
YouTube.
tell that it's Lon Chaney Jr. as well. And it's phenomenal.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of surprising little musical numbers, kind of floating around. But definitely, I know what I'm doing after the show. Just perusing YouTube, posting.
Christopher Lee, Heavy Metal
Yep,
Christmas.
yep. Okay.
Wow.
I knew he had a heavy metal band. That was one of the, or at least up until he died. It's like, maybe it's Christopher Lee. He probably could keep going after his own death.
True.
But that's so. When did the Christmas album come out?
2 years ago. It was just before he died.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I knew he had the heavy metal band, but they released like a couple albums,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah, they did like some sort of like Nights of something, sort of gothic horror. But
Nice.
then they did the Christmas album. It's amazing.
Oh, cool. Yeah. No. So, God, so see, this is the nice thing about like these type of shows. I get to learn, all kinds of new little things, and I get to go be a fan of. So hopefully you guys too. Man, so that's pretty cool. So like locally and just anything, what is aside from COFOH, because we're all jazzed about that. But is there anything else that you guys are really into that you're really looking forward to? As far as
Horror Film Festival is coming up again.
Absolutely.
yes,
May.
yeah,
Second weekend in May.
second weekend in May, fantastic.
Same place. Alamo Draft House.
Littleton. So yeah, if Julian, you better sign up for a table for that one.
Is it May?
Yep, May.
Okay. I've got a nice convention in May.
No, you don't. You're doing my Horror Film Fest.
I'm running against that.
Be a guest there too. That should be easy, right? Just do one day there, or clone yourself, something like that. Yeah, I'm really
The
that's
return of
definitely
that after 5 years.
Yeah,
That's pretty
right.
exciting.
right. That should be
We'll
absolutely.
be there. We'll be working it.
Oh, you guys are
Right.
volunteering, right?
You've worked all of them.
I worked majority of it. I didn't go to the first one. I really wanted to, and I just couldn't make it. And I think the second year I missed as well, and I'm like, I'm not missing another one. And then I worked everything after that.
And I was always thinking, well, Dwight must be side ops. He's probably the guy helping set up everything. And he surprised me telling me he was.
He was a plumber, right?
The theater guy, theater manager. Whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we check all the tickets when everybody goes in. It was funny too because they had a show once called Cheap Thrills,
Mm-hmm.
and the particular theater that it was in at the Alamo in Littleton, people couldn't find it, and there were people wandering around and were like, "Hey, you looking for Cheap Thrills?" Over here. And they're like, "Yeah."
Right this way.
It was great. That was a good movie.
Wait, nudge, nudge. Nice. Oh man. Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, that's where I met you. And did I meet you at one of those?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I feel like we met for the first time we were working on it.
Oh yeah, the bathroom.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Anyway,
But Brian, I think I met you at one of those
Yeah, I
too,
think
right?
that was one of those.
Yeah. Because weren't you doing
I was doing
Horror
the tours. And,
in the course?
yeah. Like I say, if it's horror, I'm there.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah,
First
you just
time-
kind of gravitate.
Exactly.
First time we saw Brian in action was a seance.
What?
Or Horror Fest or something.
And
Yeah.
those were fun.
And we only got to do one of them for all those years. It was like, we were like, we gotta do this, we gotta do this.
So now I get to the house, we can just do a private one.
There we go.
so we have these panel rooms at COFOH that we need things to go on. Seance.
We're working
fall
on
right
that.
into that category.
Absolutely.
So, Brian, are you conducting the seances, or just a participant,
Oh,
or
Given the past, conducting the seances.
okay?
Seances.
Yeah.
Did you have a Ouija board
Theatrical
too?
seances. And from Captain County.
Because you do some paranormal work where you're going in and seeing if a place is haunted or not.
Go
right?
in and look at the claims and talk to people having experiences. Do a ton of public speaking.
Okay.
So, Ghosts of Colorado, or
Yeah.
Ghost Hunting 101, or pretty much anything you'll pay me to talk for.
Okay.
But, I figured it out the other day, due to an argument that I was having. And in the past, probably 15 years, I think I've collectively talked to probably about 40,000 people.
Okay. Wow.
So it's been busy
Yeah, that's a good number.
and lots of fun.
Cool.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, Yeah, that's cool. How did you get into something like that?
Bad choices. Lots of drinking.
Excellent. Excellent.
Let's see, let me give you a
Let that be a lesson to you, kids.
Yeah.
You know, all the bad choices lead to the greatest things.
I'll give you the stop answer because it's the best one.
Okay.
Years ago, when I was yay tall, way too young for horror movies. My mother was a huge horror movie buff, and she wanted somebody to watch them with. And I got to be picked as the one to watch them, and they were kind of picking me on a little bit.
Okay.
Which was probably right for that age. So she's like, don't worry, let me explain it. So she explains, you know, they're all fiction. This is how the special effects are done. This is how movies are made, which is why probably now I'm obsessed with the whole behind the scenes thing as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, years later, I'm watching all of these different things that are based on a true story, inspired by actual events. And I'm like, hold on a minute, Mom said this wasn't real. So I started looking into it. I'm like, okay, there's all these people making these claims. It's time to go look.
Yeah.
And I looked around at the people that were doing it at the time, and most of them that are still doing it now, and it was just insane. They go in and they believe way too hard, and everything's a ghost. So I kind of had to start a group from scratch, and here we are.
Yeah.
22 years later.
So your paranormal research group has been around 22 years?
Officially 22 years.
Congrats, that's awesome.
And it's not just ghosts, it's anything paranormal. It's ghosts, cryptids, UFOs, anything I can get dragged into.
We've got
Which is
sound
everything.
effects, too.
You allowed to mention anything about television?
There may be something coming really soon.
Oh, great.
But that's another thing that it's really been good for too is I've done a ton of television, radio, print, some movies. Considering I'm not an actor, I have to be big IMDb page at this point. So
Nice.
I need one more and I get 20, so I'm aiming for it. And that may be fixed here within the next few weeks.
Oh, good.
So we hope.
When is it announced? Okay. When it is, let us know. We'll post it to social media and everything. Yeah, because
Exciting.
I'm excited. Yeah,
Very exciting.
that sounds fantastic. It seems like too, like you know, in Denver at least, like yeah, and maybe it's just because we've been working on Colorado Festival for the last 2 years or so. You know, the horror community, you know, creatively anyway, seems to be a little bit more gelled and coalescing and you know, feeding on a whole bunch of new enterprises and intersections. So I find that exciting. It kind of reminds me of when I was coming up, you know, from art school through the art scene and then into comic books. Because you know, that seemed very sparse, and then it just started to, you know, really able to commingle. And now Rhino is too expensive to have an art studio in, and we got to move out of Denver. But anyway, hopefully that won't be the same case for us. But yeah, it seems to be you know, a lot more opportunities, a lot more cool things and projects coming up. Earlier, I was talking to a local filmmaker, getting his first feature film going, and lo and behold, I noticed that the cast has some one of the members of The Exorcist. So I was like, "Holy crap, this is fantastic!"
I know her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just say.
Yeah. Of course you.
Yeah.
So when can we expect her for us? But yeah, so there's a lot of cool things. Again, I think going back, is there anything in particular that sticks out of your mind, aside from Mile High Horror Film Fest, you know, that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm really excited about something.
Oh,
You
okay.
ready? We are working with X Publishers.
Ah, yes.
Josh Farrell's company. Really excited because we're going to put out an anthology of horror stories. Jeannie and I have been immersed in reading reading, proofreading, concept, that kind of stuff for the last few weeks.
Nice.
And there's some really exciting stories, and we're going to premiere the anthology at the Colorado Festival of Horror. So
Excellent.
September 11, 12, 13. Hopefully at a Hex Publishers table with some. There's local authors, there's national authors, there's Bram Stoker award-winning authors in this.
There's an
And
author from Australia.
yes, and she's fantastic.
Great.
They're all great. We're really excited about the new book coming out, and we're going to have a convention exclusive edition.
Cool.
I won't go into the details yet, but a convention exclusive edition available at the show.
Nice. Can you tell us what the book is called?
Yes, it's been announced actually.
Okay.
It's called
It came from the multiplex.
It came from the
It
multiplex.
Came from the Multiplex 80s Midnight Chillers.
Nice. Okay.
So that gives you the theme and everything.
Yeah, very Disney-like.
Yeah.
It's very family friendly.
And the cover art is done by
AJ Navarro from Blizzard Entertainment.
Oh, cool. Cool.
And I mean, just the settings are 80s, which 80s is obviously having a big resurgence in recent years. Because it's quite an amazing decade, which we were able to live through. You all didn't, but we did.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah,
That's true. I was born yesterday. You can say it. I get it. I hear you. I'll get that look on your
I
face.
mean, you can expect aliens, werewolves, ghosts, all kinds of stuff set around the movie theater. So, and a lot Colorado-based and fun too.
Nice.
So we're excited about the premiere of that. I mean, that's a big deal for us. Obviously, the convention this year. X has been working with us, fan sets. We've got pins coming from them. They now are licensing horror pins from things like, I think they just put a pin up for Jason from Friday the 13th. They have this guy here, the Joe Oliver. I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah,
anybody's
Joe.
seen this
Coffin
stuff,
Joe.
probably not. In the
Yeah.
back of our coloring book, we have our mascot, Coffin Joe, which has a pin.
Nice.
Our coloring book also, Jolien Yates is in the audience tonight. He did our glorious cover for the coloring book, which we will have at the show. And you can reach out to any of us if you want to get a copy. Phone, t-shirts, marketing, merchandising.
Yeah.
So anyway, a lot of good stuff to look forward to. 2020, the year of horror, returns to Colorado.
We've got Stoker.
Right?
StokerCon is coming in 2021, right? I think it's the year after, but just a few months after us. I want to say it's March.
Didn't we discover that Paracon is coming in
There
like
is
the month after us?
Possibly
Yeah.
a paranormal convention in
Yeah.
October next year.
We still got HearstCon,
Mhm.
Morbid Curiosities, Monster
Fun show
Day
this year.
Greeley.
Monster Day just announced their dates.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
date, I should say, in August next year.
That's a fun family-free event. So, for anybody heading up to Greeley in August.
Several zombie crawls.
Oh, that's true. Because they're not always on the same weekend.
No, so we've got the one downtown, which is the monster. Then we've got one in Littleton.
Oh, okay.
And little scattered ones around.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they're happening. Some of them are starting to happen like different times of the year, not just in October,
Spread out.
which is great because, as we all know, Halloween is every fucking day.
And then we don't forget about Frozen Dead Guy days.
That's early.
Yes, I just learned of that because that's
February.
March.
isn't that in
Netherlands.
Yeah,
right?
Cold.
Okay.
Either way.
Nice.
It's cold and there's coffin, so it's all you
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll be warm and toasty on the side with the coffee.
We did one of those, a couple of those. And our youngest son, he decided to do the polar plunge. And I was like, there's no way in hell.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Would you really?
I'd do it in a heartbeat. Yeah.
He and a buddy, I mean, they got the swimsuits on and jumped into the, they've got these scuba divers and medics, paramedics hanging around, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I never
That's
saw
what they're
two teenagers shoot out of water. But the thing that, they did coffin readings. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen, where these teams decorate their coffins and they have to do an obstacle course.
COFOH should have a copy.
Yeah, we should. Oh, we should.
We should.
Oh my gosh.
I'll
Maybe
find out.
it could be too late
We gotta
this
get,
year.
we gotta
but
get younger kids to be
Yeah.
doing
Yes,
the
true.
running.
That's true.
We fall down, we're not
That's
gonna
what
be
reminded
like
me, I have a concept for that,
Okay.
and it would work.
Well, we know your kids are willing to do silly things, so we can put them up to it.
And Xander's in town now, but he is coming, he's gonna be part of COFOH. And he, his love of horror just was huge influence for us loving horror, but his first paid job out of Hollywood was working for Heather Langenkamp from Nightmare on Elm Street and her husband, David Anderson, as a practical effects shop, AFX studio in Hollywood. His first paid job was doing concept art for them for a show that we love. It only lasted 2 seasons, Scream Queens, with Jamie Lee Curtis. Xander worked on the serial killers for both seasons, and he's worked on 5 or 6 years of American Horror Stories. So he's pushing horror, and he's coming to the show for sure.
Excellent.
And he's doing interior illustrations for our anthology.
Oh, that's
yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's great.
It's nice that you can involve the family and kind of build that creative project. It's got to feel pretty rewarding after it's all said. Process myself.
Yeah.
I prefer process.
It's work, but
Yeah.
text publishers, they're experts. They've been putting out, Josh has been putting out wonderful anthologies for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, they're pretty on top of it. And the Denver Horror Society guys.
They just did the Denver Horror Collective, or they just
Terror 5280.
just did an anthology book that's really, really awesome.
Yeah.
We're doing another release of that in just a few weeks.
Oh, it's at her cover, right?
Yeah, you and I might be doing that there. Is that
I'm
something
speaking
coming
of
up?
that,
Yeah. So we're.
All right, so tattered cover, you got to go. You're both speaking, or
I guess I'm hosting.
Nice.
He's the one that actually has something to say. I'll just be pointing. Yeah. Oh, somebody farted. Yeah. Stop farting. That's the extent of my duties, I think.
I'll be
Duties.
there. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I know.
Anytime I get out and talk to people
Well,
about
fucking
those
child.
stuff.
Yeah. So with the Colorado Festival of Horror, what are you guys wanting to see aside from just the book? What are you wanting to do as organizers?
I'm actually really looking forward to like the evening kinds of things. Just having fun in the bar and doing trivia and drinking rum, just whatever other crazy things we can think of to do.
Interactive.
All the creative activation,
Just hanging out.
group participation stuff, axe throwing.
Potentially.
Okay, all right.
I'm always excited about panels. So,
Yeah.
Maybe,
Did I just?
we still can have ideas.
I really need to shut the hell up sometimes.
I know a guy.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I do know a guy that can throw ice. He was trying to teach them.
I know a guy that owns
So, nice. But I think panels are not just going to be sick, freaking
Yeah.
on right? It's going to be interactive panels. I think they've got a lot of great ideas. They keep them involved. Planning on some fun guests. Wish we could announce one, but soon we will announce a guest soon. Probably when tickets go on sale, maybe in January.
Okay. Dwight, how about you?
There hasn't been horror in Denver for quite a while. I mean, Mile High Horror Film Festival was obviously huge for me. I think it was an extremely well-run show. I loved everybody involved. Team Teresa. I mean, it was like a family thing with those guys. And I want COFOH to be like that too. But I mean, what I really want is the horror community in Colorado to come together as a whole.
Yeah.
Whether it's Mile High Horror Film Festival or COFOH or anybody else. I mean, I want to see all the boats float, and I want everybody to have a great time and help promote everybody else. I mean, horror is just, I love the community. I think it's a great community, and I'm hoping COFOH can be a big part of that.
Well, the thing is, around the rest of the country, there's something going on like every weekend. There's a big convention here, a big convention there, but nothing near here.
Right.
This is just a dead zone when it
Yeah.
comes to that.
Yeah.
So, like you say, anything would help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think I can add anything more to that. I think you put it very eloquently. So, yeah, for all those, I wanting to find out more about COFOH and Colorado Festival of Horror, go to cofohhorror.com. We've got right now on there, we've got volunteer applications if you want to come out and help us put this together.
Be a part of the swarm.
Yeah, and then we also have open table submissions. So if you're a vendor or an artist, and you've got something cool that you want to share and sell, make sure you go to the website, fill out a form, and then we'll be announcing tickets and guests here in the next month or two. So just follow us on Facebook, and then that's another reason why we do shows like this, to kind of engage and connect with everybody here and there online, and hopefully on Craigslist, because that's where the big people live, right? Oh my gosh. Well, with that, I want to thank my guests, my partners in crime, Jeannie, Brad, Dwight, and Brian, and Lisa, who's at home, probably putting quarters in the swear jar for every time I drop an F-bomb, and then charging me back for it, as she should, because that's the neighborly thing to do. But again, guys, thanks for coming out. Thanks for braving the traffic. I'm so sorry.
Thanks to Mutiny for hosting us.
Yes.
And the Information Cafe, awesome place.
As always, thanks to Mutiny and to Jim and Matt and the coffee that they serve, because I'm wired.
That's why you don't need questions for interviews. You just.
That's right. I just ripped.
You got them.
I know. Again, diarrhea in the mouth. That's all it is. That's all you need, kids. You want your own public access on Wi-Fi? Drink coffee. Don't do Coke. That's overcompensating. Then you're just, ready for Twitch. That's what that is. Or YouTube. All right. Well, thanks again, guys. Again, COFOH, it will be September 11th through the 13th, 2020, at the Embassy Suites by Hilton.
I-70 in Havana.
I-70 Havana. Yes.
Nice, intimate setting.
Very intimate
Great.
setting. Great plumbing. All right. Well, thanks again. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you
Thank
guys,
you.
too. All right. Thanks again, guys, for coming out. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. If you got any questions, I know Jillian always does. Feel free to hang out and ask. All right. We'll see you guys later. Get off camera. Strategically reach over. And we are high tech. Ooh.